Hello, welcome to the Doctoral Candidate Show. I'm Esteban Doctoral Candidate, and today I'm going to be talking on letting God guide your finances. Now, I've been giving this seminar for probably over 30 years, and I found a structured way to allow you to transfer ownership to God for your finances. I only work with people who really want to change their lives and really be debt free and work for the honor of God. Now, in this lesson or seminar or whatever you want to call it, we normally will go through a structured approach. Go through three levels: independence, service, and salvation. Then we'll probably move into the initial structure that you use to actually get your finances together. And then we'll just keep on going until we get to the point at which you're comfortable with what you're doing, you can go off on your own. Now, this doesn't take a long time, and one of the most important things I cover is how to say no. So we're going to take some time, we're going to have some fun, we're going to do this differently. Now, right now, there's nothing in the shot, so we're going to change around, we're going to do some different things, we're going to make this interesting and fun. So, with that, I will see you in a few seconds. And now we're going to go with the intro. Boom. Okay, so now we're in our lab right now. So just want you to enjoy my lab. We've got all the screens. We're going to do this formal portion of the letting God manage your finances, and we're going to move on to something fun. So the first thing you need to understand is you really have to let God manage your finances. Now, transferring ownership to God gives you the opportunity to quit taking ownership of money, because God won't allow you to manage more money if you possess it. So the most important thing is to transfer that ownership to God. Let God know that it's up to Him, that it's His will, and you can do His will with what you want to do. Now, that's a very healthy portion of really learning to manage your money, really gaining wealth as a Christian, and being able to do the things that you want to do. Because people get possessive of money, and money is the root of all evil. But if you manage it right, you'll have the opportunity to do great things for the glory of God. So part of this seminar or money, the way I teach people how to manage their money is really to reduce the stress of trying to can't possess ownership of that money. Give that responsibility to God, so that God can allow you to disperse it to the things that He wants it for you to do for it. So that just means letting go of the money, using your time right, treating your family right, not possessing material things, gaining your education, and really getting a real good potential for the future. So I'm really not going to spend a lot of time on this because I really don't believe in spending a lot of hours and hours. So normally my seminar takes about 30 minutes. And doing this, I want everybody who I work with to go out and start trying to do these things. So we're going to go into the structured approach after this, but first we need to really understand what our purpose is. And when you're trying to understand what your purpose is, one of the things that people really don't understand is the understanding of these three important things. That's gaining your independence. That means not relying on anybody, that whatever you reap, you sow. I normally use 1 Peter 2:16, which says live as people who are free, not using your freedom as a cover up for evil, but living as servants of God. Now, independence is extremely important because when I meet people who depend on God, but they haven't gained their independence, as a child of God, it's really hard for them to really grasp letting go of that possessive part of money and really freeing themselves to do what God wants them to do, instead of constantly trying to get ahead or trying to catch up and continually letting evil come in and really stop them from gaining independence, from being able to be the person who they should be, who God created them to be. Now, the second thing is service. Now, part of service is everybody can serve. So everybody can be great during service, but you have to understand that even with service, there's a responsibility to God to be able to do the best you can do with the tools you have. And when I work with people, it's hard for them to grasp that service is on you. You know, I normally use 1 Peter 4:9-11, which is show hospitality one another without grumbling. Each has received a gift, use it to serve one another. As good stewards of God's varied grace, whoever speaks as one speaks oracles of God. So when you do that, you have to really be honest with yourself and ask yourself, are you serving God or are you serving man? If you're in a service or you're working towards something and you want to have your own service or help people in a way that is godly and gets them closer to God, then you really have to be careful, because you could be just doing things just because people ask you. I see a lot of people that are serving, but then they get burnt out because they end up doing everything. So they don't realize that should be an opportunity for everyone to get the opportunity to do things to help God. Now, service, everybody can be great, but remember, service, it should be joyful, fun. So it's okay to really take a step back when you really need some time to really get closer to God or get over some obstacles, or just really take a break and just enjoy your family and enjoy the service, enjoy the world that God created. Because if it becomes cumbersome or overbearing, then you're really doing too much, and you really need to step back and really find that sweet spot or what's best that works for you. Now, that the last thing is salvation. And this is one of the hardest things to grasp when I work with people, and that's because salvation is based on what you want to leave the world. Now, normally I'll use 1 Peter 3-15, which is build in your hearts, honor Christ, the Lord, as holy, always being prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks for a reason for the hope that is in you, yet do it with gentleness and respect. And I find that a lot of people that I work with don't understand that when you're working for your salvation, it's your responsibility for your salvation and ensuring that whatever you're doing, and basically it means, what are people going to remember you for? Are they going to remember you for lukewarm greetings or not being able to get it together because you always have drama going on? Your salvation is important because you want to get out and do great things for the glory of God and not always be in this situation where you always have drama or you really can't do anything and people don't really see what you're actually doing for the glory of God. And that's the most important thing about salvation is you got to honor God with that salvation. You got to be prepared to make defense for anyone who asks for help. And I don't mean anyone, I mean people who really want to be helped. You know, it's good to be a good person and really help people when they need it. But when people just continually not want the help but don't want to change, then I want to make sure that it's okay to guide them to somebody who is really good at just taking care of people who just want to stay the same. And when they're ready to get started again, then you can go back and make sure that you can help them get those obstacles, and you can get your salvation. So this is the first portion. So now we probably got to shift gears. Got to get out of the lab, got to find a place where we can have fun, because we need to really hit the structure. And the structure is one of the most important things because because they don't really feel the need to teach this in school. You know, we live in a capitalist society, and living in a capitalist society means that they want you to spend. So they don't teach proper money management. You can't find that anywhere. It's everywhere. But, you know, even with Dave Ramsey, it takes 8 weeks. And I really love Dave Ramsey and I really love his course, but I can't sit for 8 weeks because because for me, and the type of person I am, I need to be able to get in the game. I need to be able to gain some information, get it quickly, and start working towards understanding how my money works. And this is what this structure is about. It's about being able to see the structure and work on any of the parts. So with that, I'm going to just shift gears. I need a little magic so that I can shift gears and get out of the lab and go find a nice place to go relax and be creative. So I'm going to have to use a little magic. So here we go. Well, welcome to my creative space. I got me here from way back at Universal Studios with me in my Spider-Man outfit. And this is an area that we gonna get a structure down to where you can really manage God's money, because that is the first level, is managing God's money. I meet a lot of people all the time that they're doing other things that keep them from being able to manage their money. They don't have the right structure. So instead of being able to hit that level one and manage God's money, they're in the stock market. They're starting businesses. They're investing in things that really shouldn't be invested in. So with this, we're going to have, there's 4 blocks that you're going to see right here. The first one is salary. You get what you earn. So whatever time you spend, whatever career you choose, you really need to go and look at the salary requirements for that career. Not saying that you have to make a lot of money, but being able to manage your money is going to tell you what you need to do to be able to get that place where you're living below your means or at your means. I meet a lot of people that they're living above their means and they have all these credit cards and they're giving money away to the credit card companies and other people. And it baffles me sometimes, because me personally, I don't like to give, especially money on credit cards, away to anybody. My spare money can go to me or God or helping somebody or helping my family. And people don't realize that when you do that, you end up on the positive side. And that means that the majority of your money comes to you and you can do what you want with it. So you don't have to make 6 figures. You can make $30,000, $50,000, even $20,000 and live comfortably, because you're managing your money and you're getting what you earn. You're living below your means. So the first block I'm going to show you right here is salary. Now, it's important to know what your salary is. It's important to know what your take home is. It's important to know, what is your projected income based on what you should do. Well, right now you should just know your salary. And then once you know your salary, you have to understand, first thing you gotta learn is pay bills. That's the second block that's sitting here, is you have to have a bill pay account. Now, a bill pay account, you should have it should be separate from everything. It should just be an account where your salary drops in, and then your bills come out of that. That way you pay your bills, you pay yourself, you save money out of this one account so you can see where your money's going. Now, the next block is a savings account. Now, we all understand that it's hard to save money, especially living in a capitalist society and always wanting stuff, and people tell you to buy. I mean, there's probably a holiday every month. And every month when I go to the store, they're preparing for the next one. And that's where it baffles me, is because we have all these people and they're spending this money and they don't really have it. And it happened to me. I started looking at it and I started taking holidays off, Cinco de Mayo, St. Patrick's Day, Halloween. I started taking those off and I started saving money, It just made sense to me, because I don't really want to celebrate those anyway, because they really don't have too much to do with what I like to do. So that's how I learned to not spend money on that stuff, So understanding that savings account is important, because you have to take some time off. You have to be able to not spend on everything. So as you build that savings account, and have those things in there, you should have enough in that savings account to actually cover immediate issues you have, enough to get home if your parents are sick, or just to fix the car, or or just basically fix the washing machine or dryer or something if your tire blows out. That's what that savings account is for. Then the last block is an expense account. Now, what I've found in the past, and when I work with people who don't really manage their money well, is they mix their bill pay and their expense account. Now, the difference is your bill pay, that's where you pay your bill, that's where you pay yourself out of. Your expense account is what your fund money's for what you go to the movies for what you get your gas and for just clothes and things like that. And you keep that separate from your bill pay because you have to know where you can sacrifice. Once your bill's paid and then you pay yourself, that's where you get your expense money from. That's where you can do things that you like to do, movies and hang out with your friends and go out to eat and things like that. So here are the 4 different blocks that you have to understand. Salary, again, how much you're going to make, how much you actually make. Is that enough? Where is that? What can you do to make more, to manage God's money? Then there's the bill pay account where your money drops into it, and then the first thing you do is pay your bills. That way you stay out of trouble. Then this first thing they say is pay yourself. Once you pay yourself and you build that savings account up to enough to handle emergencies, then you don't have to dip it into that. And then you have an expense account, which is not inside of your bill pay account. So you can see where you're spending your money, so where you can sacrifice, where you can make changes. Is the importance of not having those 2 accounts together. Now, here we go. Managing God's money in the first level. I meet there's only 6% of America doesn't live, they don't have bills. That is astounding. They don't really talk about, 1% are the richest. Then there's the other 6% who are wealthy, who live within their means, who don't have bills. And then there's another section that live from paycheck to paycheck, which is a huge chunk. And then there's the poor, where they don't have enough to make it. Now you have to determine where are you at in that. And when I meet people, most times they're in that area where you're living from paycheck to paycheck, and they have a hard time getting out of that. So there you have it. We have managing God's money, level 1, 4 blocks: your salary, your bill pay, your savings account, and your expense account. You should have those 4 if you're just starting out. If you don't have those, you really need to sit back and reevaluate what you're doing with your money. So this will be available online. There's a link down below to go see this actual structure. And if you have any questions, just hit me up in the chat or send me an email, and it's all the information is down below. So this is Esteban DC. We're getting ready to move on to the next section, which I like to do, which is how to tell people no. So in order to transform over there and to get where I gotta go, I need to do some more magic. So I'm on. Well, hello. I am here because I'm here to teach you how to say no. Sometimes when I'm just trying to get ahead and things come back and people come and borrow money, and I just feel so bad just to say no. And sometimes I have to think, why? Why do I have such a hard time saying no? Because I'm a Christian. I want to help everybody. I want to be the best person I can be. And when people I feel like they need help, I can't say no. So I put myself in financial straits because I'm trying to help people who even my family. But the most important thing is, in this, you gotta say no. Saying no is not a measure of the type of person you are. Saying no means that within your structure, you can't give up your independence. You can't let things interfere with your service. You can't let people get you off of your salvation, off your service, off your independence, unless it's extremely important. Now, what I want to do is introduce you to this block called expenses. Now, in order to understand why you can say no, is to use this block called expenses. Now, expenses are the things you can sacrifice. So when you're a Christian and you're doing things, you want to enjoy life, every other block maintains your independence. But that one expense block, it's something that you can really sacrifice for. You don't really want you that way you don't have to sacrifice for people and you don't have to feel bad because that's the box that you're sacrificing. So when you learn how to say no and you follow this structure, when people ask you for money or whatever it is that's going to infringe on your independence or on your savings or on your salary or even in your bill pay, the most important thing is your thought process should be, do I want to, do I, can I, will I give up some money from my expense account? Now that is how to say no. Now that feeling eventually will subside because your expense account is really what you have fun with. Every other one of these boxes are really serious about what you need. And so let's get that in our heads. No is the magic word, and no is based on your expenses. Thus, when you want to sacrifice. So now we're going to have to move on to the next thing. So we're going to take a break. We're going to really sit down and really get into each one of these 4 blocks and dig a little deeper. So we're going to recap each block slowly, and then I'm going to ask questions as I put this video out. All right, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and let my hair down and enjoy myself and just really have fun. And of course, this is in black and white because you either say yes to the expenses or no to the expenses. Love y'all. Have a great day. Esteban DC out. So here we are at the last session. We're going to recap our 4 blocks, which are salary, savings, bill pay, expense. And we're going to just go through them slowly so that you kind of get a grasp of what I'm talking about. And I'm going to put all 4 of those right here so that you can see each one and how they correlate. So first, we're talking about salary. We're going to recap this. You know, you really get what you earn. You reap what you sow. All that, those things that you need with your salary, you really need to look at what your career aspirations are and look at a list that says, hey, this is how much a analyst makes. This is how much a school teacher makes. And make your plans within that. Because I see a lot of people that they run around and they say, yeah, I work at McDonald's and I'm a vet and I make minimum wage, but I want a Rolls Royce. Well, it doesn't work that way. You really have to put the work in if you really want to have that high salary, or you don't even have to have a high salary. You just have to know how to manage your money to work at that place and have the things that you want. So the first questions you need to ask is, how much money is enough? If you can answer that question, then you're on track. And the next thing is, how much do you really need to live on? Do you have to have, you don't have to have all the best, but if you manage your money properly, you can have pretty much everything you want as long as you're not spending money on things that you don't really need. So next, we're going to move to the bill pay account. Now, we've already talked about this bill pay and the way that people use their bill pay and they put their expense account in their bill pay and they can't separate both. So you really want to let your salary drop into your bill pay, and so that you can understand that you're paying what you're paying out in bills and ensuring that you have enough money in that account in case, so you know what you're paying, when you're paying it, how often you pay it. It's important when you pay bills because there's a billing date. And a lot of times people just pay bills at the first of the month, or they pay you every 2 weeks, or however. You have to know when those billing dates are to make sure that you get your bills paid on time. And you have to make sure that you have enough money in that bill paid, so when you have all your bills into one understanding of how much you actually pay in bills, part of your budgeting plan, then you know. Then you can go ahead and say, okay, well, here's what I have to pay in bills. Okay, here's what I have extra. So now I can pay myself to my savings account. Then you know how much you can pay yourself. So in your savings account, you really want to make sure that you have enough for emergencies. I normally say, you have enough to get home if you live away from your parents, or get your whole family to wherever your parents are at, or just that amount is really good enough. You live where your parents are at, then it's normally about $500 to $1,000 to make sure that you have something quick to get to, so you don't always put things on credit cards. And then there's that expense account, which is the most important thing, and that's the money that you use to really enjoy life. You know, the bill pay, the savings, and the salary are really based on your independence. And you really don't want to give up your independence, you know. So those are really that independent part. Now, expenses are different. Those are the things that you do that you enjoy. You go to movies, you put gas in your car, you go hang out, you buy clothes. You want to allot yourself enough money so that you can enjoy those things. And you really shouldn't be overspending your expense account, because then you know you're living above your means. You know, because in your expense account, if you don't spend all of it, then you can either give it to savings or let it ride, and that's kind of how you know that you're living below your means. So, and whenever people ask you for money, your automatic thought should be, do I have that in my expenses? Do I really want to sacrifice for this person? I mean, that's just the most important thing, is people never want to sacrifice. You know, they always want to get, but when you have to give, that means you have to give something up. So yes, you know, you have to say, okay, well, I have $200 in my expense account, but my brother's asking for $100, and you know, that means I can't go out to eat. I may not have enough gas to get to work. So at some point, you're going to have to tell people no. And that's the most important thing, is being able to tell people no. Now, some of the things I like to do and really had to learn was, when you say no, you should be able to say it in either a definitive way and stop all the words. Because what people do is they try to convince you to give them what they want. And if you don't have it, then you really have to stop with the words. And a lot of things that I like to do is say, no, you know, another one is no thank you, no I'm good, maybe next month when I have the money, I'll consider it, you know, but you have to really give them that no thank you, and then move about your business, because you don't really have it. And the amount of words that you use to explain to people why you can't is wrong. If you don't have it, you should just be like, I don't have it, right? And if you don't have it to sacrifice, you don't have it to sacrifice. And that's fine. It's okay. If they really cared about you, then they would understand. So here's our final recap of everything: salary, bill pay, savings, expense account, and saying no, or nah, or no thank you, or I don't have it, wait until next month. But always make sure that you maintain your independence, which is the most important thing. So that ends this first portion of the series. The next series, what we're going to do is we're going to go a little more in depth into, a little farther into how you manage your money. So this portion of the seminar is, you know, just managing your money. So there are 3 levels that we're going to take on in the next video series, and that's, you know, managing your money, making money with your money, and then making money with God's money, or with other people's money. And those are the 3 levels to understanding how to manage money. I'm going to recap those in my next video, which is going to be part 2. We're going to expand on this financial health, these blocks, and we're going to add some blocks to it so that you can get a better understanding of the part of where you can manage your total amount of money, where you can make money with your money. Okay, this is Esteban DC. Thank you for viewing in, and see you in the next video. And I'm just going to slide on out of here.